You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. And I hope everybody had a good weekend. I know I did. I got to go home, got to see my niece, nephew, brother, sister, mom, dad, and the family. It was a lot of fun. But we are back, and we are ready to talk some New York Giants football. We're going to close today's show recapping day 7 of OTAs. Tyler Nubin, rookie safety, had some big-time plays, and Wan'Dale Robinson also got involved early and often in practice. But the biggest storyline right now surrounding the New York Football Giants is Darren Waller and his potential retirement. An article came out this morning from Jordan Renan of ESPN where he pretty much said the Giants are expecting Waller to retire, and they have already prepped for life without him this entire offseason. This was the full quote from Renan, insider and beat reporter for Big Blue. He says, quote, "The New York Giants tight end Darren Waller is likely to make a decision by next week's mandatory minicamp about his playing future, and people in and around the team expect that he's going to retire. Those close to him believe he's leaning also in the direction of retirement." Waller, 31, said during an Instagram Live on Friday that a decision was coming very soon. He has been contemplating retirement since the end of last season and hasn't offered any of the team, or hasn't attended, any of the team's voluntary offseason workouts this spring. And like we talked about, the Giants have already been prepping for life as if Darren Waller is not going to be a part of this football team. It's a sad situation. I feel bad for the person, Darren Waller. I hope that he is all right. You listen to some of his music that's come out recently, and I honestly feel bad for the person, Waller, and I am going to keep him in my thoughts and prayers. I'm not going to speculate what he's dealing with, but I'm going to continue to keep him in my thoughts and prayers. But back to the main issue here, that is the New York Giants and their tight end depth chart. The Giants have already been prepping for life without him. They did so when they went out and signed Chris Manhertz and Jack Stoll early on in NFL free agency. While those aren't receiving tight ends, they did add 2 bodies to the tight end depth chart. Manhertz and Stoll were more your blocking guys, but then the Giants doubled and tripled down in the NFL draft where they selected Theo Johnson, the pass-catching tight end who could play wide receiver, out of Penn State. So you add a rookie, you add 2 veterans, and you pair that with Daniel Bellinger as well as Tyree Jackson and Lawrence Cager. You've got kind of a full tight end room that it sounds like Waller is not going to be a part of. And I know Waller is an easy guy to hate on. I'm not going to do that. I got a lot of respect for him as a person, player, and everything he's gone through. And he was honestly semi-productive with the Giants before the injuries started to tack on. I think it was like week 6 or week 7. Waller was first in receptions as well as first in receiving yards. 4 tight ends, had a big game. I think that was against Washington where he caught that seam route up the right side. And look, the Giants are going to be better if Darren Waller plays because he's simply just a good football player. And as much as I believe in the tight ends and the rookie, he's the best that they got at the position. But sounds like he's not going to be there. Not officially official, but according to the Giants, that is what they are expecting, and just the injuries have caught up to him. He's got a chronic hamstring injury. Doesn't sound like he's really as hard as in it, and it sucks. When you see someone whose dream is something, you have things that come up across the way that kind of take them off of that mindset of achieving that dream. It's sad to see, and I know I feel like I probably sound like a simp for Darren Waller, but you know what? I do not care. But for the Giants, what does it mean? With Darren Waller potentially retiring after June 1st, the Giants would now save $11.6 million on the cap while having a $2.4 million cap hit. What does that mean? Could the Giants go out and sign someone in free agency? They absolutely could, and I would expect them to do that or sign 2 players at lower value deals. But they're also going to need that money to navigate throughout the season. The Giants have just $1.6 million in cap space, and that is the least amount of cap space of any team in this league. So they're going to need some of that cap space for the season. We've seen Joe Schoen now through 2 seasons as a general manager of this football team. He really likes to keep that back end of the 53-man roster in kind of a rotation. Rotation's not necessarily the right word. A revolving door. He likes to bring people up for the practice squad. He likes to claim people off waivers like Isaiah Hodgins. He likes to have the ability to stay flexible. And When you have just $1.6 million in cap space, you can't really be all that flexible. But 12.6, 13, 8, maybe spend 5. The Giants will be able to do some things in the regular season that they really want to because of the number and the money that they might be getting. It was just a tough ending for Waller and the Giants. Look, I was duped. I drank the Kool-Aid. But really, I don't think I even drank it. I think that it was just a fact that Darren Waller was looking like a superstar last summer. Every article you read, people that went to practice. I knew people personally that went, I think it was, I don't remember if it's training camp or mini camp that the fans are allowed to go to, but mini camp, producer Jack, training camp? Fans go to training camp. That's what it is. Yeah, training camp and fans. But like I knew people personally that went there, and I talked to them, and they're like, "Yo, this guy looks good, man. He's the best player on the field. The Giants don't have anyone that can cover him. Maybe Giants defense just wasn't simply that good, but going from that to where we thought he was going to change this offense, and you get beat 40-0 week 1, and then less than 365 days later, he's thinking about retiring, and you traded a third-round pick to the Raiders, and you got nothing back. I mean, you trade Kadarius Toney for a third and a sixth-round pick. You then turn that third-round pick into Darren Waller. Toney's no good. Waller's no good. And the sixth-round pick that you used, you selected Trey Hawkins. And that's still TBD on that after a very disappointing rookie year. What's your one-word reaction, though, to Darren Waller retiring? Be nice in the comments. Be nice. One-word reaction to Darren Waller retiring. I know you guys are not going to be nice, but I thought I would just say that. Coming up next, the Giants just wrapped up OTA day number 7, and I want to talk about the highlights of that practice. There were a couple players that I heard showed up and showed out, and I'm excited about the future that they got this upcoming year with Big Blue. But first, I'm excited for Brian Burns to play some football for the Giants this year, the $150 million pass rusher. If you want to be supporting Brian Burns in week 1, I'm going through it right now. Go to chatsports.com/Burns. That is chatsports.com/Burns and get your Brian Burns jersey today. Hopefully he can heal my toothache. Go to chatsports.com/Burns. I got to go to the dentist tomorrow. I'm struggling with some tooth pain right now, and I am scared. I am scared of the dentist. So keep me in your thoughts and prayers tonight. I do not feel good about my chances, whatever that even means. But let's focus on the Giants. Darius Slayton and Wan'Dale Robinson, according to Giants.com, had productive days at practice, and they were involved early on. They talked about Robinson, got a couple of slant passes, and Slayton was targeted by all of the quarterbacks for the Giants. And it's good to see Slayton back on the practice field, whatever you think about him. It's just good to see him out there. He's led this team in receiving yards 4 of the last 5 seasons. He was looking for a new deal. He didn't get one. Got some incentives added to his contract, less than $1 million, but still, that's a lot of change. Giants seem to be good. You got Neighbors, you got Slayton, you got Hyatt and Robinson. Those 4 have to be the leading pass catchers for this team this year. Hopefully it's Neighbors because you chose him inside the top 6. But I'm also expecting for Slayton to be good. And I expect Robinson also to have a big year operating out of the slot. His quickness, ability to separate, get north and south after the catch, make tacklers miss. I'm excited to see what the former second-round pick does in year 3. Jashaun Corbin, my UDFA gem. I still got love for Jashaun Corbin after being a 2022 UDFA. I thought he should have made the team last year over Gary Brightwell, considering Brightwell did not play in preseason. But it's nice to see Corbin get involved in the passing game at practice. We know that he's a good runner. We know that he's someone that can step in and be a good pass protector as well. When you could just continue to add more tools to your tool set and you can improve from just a runner to a runner and a blocker to a runner, blocker, and pass catcher, you're going to make it tough for this team to catch you. And with the running backs you got in Singletary, Gray, those 2 are locks to make this roster, as I would assume Tyrone Tracy is. I think the Giants keep 4 running backs. I think it'll be between Dante Miller and Jashaun Corbin. Let the best man win. I'm excited to see how that training camp battle kind of unfolds. Once again, the Giants' defensive line had a good day, and that's something that I want to continue to say on this show because that is the most talented group that you have on this roster. That's the position group that you have invested the most in. $150 million and a second-round pick in Brian Burns. A first-round pick and over $90 million. $90 million and a first-round pick on Dexter Lawrence. A top 5 pick on Kayvon Thibodeaux. A second-round pick on Azeez Ojulari. That's 4 guys right there that you have used premium assets to put to this team. They need to be the heartbeat. They need to be the driving force. They need to be the team position group that carries this team. Burns, Lawrence, Thibodeaux, and Ojulari. We need 40 sacks between those four guys. Or honestly, I'd probably consider this season a little bit of a disappointment for them. Who has more sacks, though, between the edge rushers? Which bookend pass rusher is going to have more sacks? Is it Burns? Is it Thibodeaux? Type the initials of the guy you think is going to have more sacks at the end of this year. Rookie safety, second-round pick, Tyler Nubin out of Minnesota, supposedly flashed as a blitzer. And he is a guy that I really do think is going to show up and show out this year. I cannot wait to do my overachieving players. Kind of a cheating thing to even say that for a rookie, but breakout players is almost a cheating thing. But some sleepers for this year, and that's going to be Tyler Nubin for me. The ball skills that he possesses, man, for a rookie are incredible. And I think by the end of the season, we're going to be looking at Nubin as the guy that's going to be patrolling the back half of that defense for the Giants for the next 5, 6, 7 years. Giants haven't really had a safety like him. I think he's more – I think you're going to say, well, Marshall, what about Xavier McKinney? I think they're just different. McKinney's more of your physical downhill player. Nubin's more your back half of the defense type of guy. And he can control and play sideline to sideline, while also possessing skills that McKinney does as well. Get in the box, blitz it off the edge. And I know Shane Bowen is going to use him in multiple ways, and I really, really want to see how impactful he's going to be this year. Deonte Banks at the corner position, as well as Trey Hawkins, Cordell Flott, and UDFA A. Johnson out of UCLA also had pass breakups. We all know that corner is a major question mark going into the season for the Giants. Deonte Banks is going to be good. Hopefully take that step, become a top 15 corner in this league. But Trey Hawkins didn't look good his rookie year. Cordell Flott has a lot to prove for me to rely on him as a guy that can be relied on. And A. Johnson's a UDFA at this point. A lot of snaps are up for grabs at that position group, and the best guy needs to go out and claim it. And we need Deonte Banks to be a stud. You pick a guy 24th overall at corner. By the end of year 2, you need that guy to be a stud. And I think Banks will. The swag, the charisma, the moxie, the juice, the athleticism, the technique. Big things for Deonte Banks this upcoming year. Major shout out to everybody that tuned in. Make sure you're following me on Twitter, on Instagram. We got a OTA winners and losers video coming this week for the real ones. So shout out to y'all. And let's go Big Blue.